First of all, you guys could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you here with me, and for that, I want to thank you. I'm Storm Leroy, better known as the Employee Millionaire. I figured on this special day, which I've been trying to throw this 50th party for the longest, right? We don't have 3 years ago, but I'm 53 right now. And I have not been able to have a 50 because COVID hit. So I've been like chilling, holding. Jeff, I'm going to make you co-host so you can let people in.
I'm ready to co-host. Relax. Don't
Okay,
worry.
cool.
Enjoy it.
So I haven't been able to enjoy it due to COVID, but I've done something really profound for me, which has been able to help thousands of people change their life, give them valuable information, help thousands of people do the things that some of us only dream to do, or we needed just a little bit of adjustment. When I mean just a little adjustment, we think that life really consists of us doing major tweaks in order for us to be able to become successful. Major tweaks in order for us to be able to do the things we need to do, when really, it's just a little shift of the steering wheel. You ever notice when you're driving, you just make a little adjustment, you slowly start veering off? You slowly start veering off? That's literally what you have to do in life. That's literally all it takes is a little adjustment. And that's what I had to figure out. Once I made that little bitty adjustment, what was that one adjustment? Realizing that my job was paying me to quit work. They literally was paying me to quit work. But I didn't get the message because the mindset, for those of you that want to know, I threw in a little something, threw a little 9 on, because I couldn't come into this birthday conversation, at least not dressed the part, right? So the job instinctively was not doing nothing wrong. What's going on, Emily? It was my fault, because I've been taught, I've been trained, and I've been visually stimulated on the fact that when you go to work, you should get paid to pay bills, enjoy the weekend, and get ready for work. Due to nobody else's fault, because the people before me, they were programmed into that same mindset. Programmed into the same mindset. And let me tell you, you guys know I talk a lot about my dad, right? And how, my dad worked construction. He worked hard. I was a little kid. And, my dad worked construction. He was a day laborer. And he helped build Woodhull Hospital here in Brooklyn, New York. By building a hospital, he got caved in. And he would have me take his boots off when he come home from work. Muddy boots off. I'm about 8 years old. So one day, the day when he got caved in, they brought him in, sat him at the kitchen table. He said, take his boots off. So I'm like 8 years old. I'm like, dog, man, I was out playing Skelly with my brothers. I'm like, man, I don't want to take no boots off. Y'all don't know what Skelly is. That's the game with the tops. You got the boxes on the ground. We play in the street. You get the mayonnaise top or the glass top playing Skelly. So he called me in. And then he was sitting at the table covered in mud. They carried him in. I'm taking his boots off. So he looked down at me. He says, do you know why I have you take my boots off? So, my father had this watery eyes, which he was fighting back tears. Now as an adult, I get it. He said, because I don't ever want you to go through what I'm going through. So you would assume that somebody who works hard really would be projecting on you the reflection, mirroring hard work is what it takes to become successful. But what he actually was teaching me is hard work doesn't do anything but make you tired. Hard work doesn't do anything but wear your body down. Hard work can give you a wealth of knowledge, and I take nothing away from the experience that someone could gain when you work hard for so many years. But when you take a job and you learn to do something, and let's say you was driving a forklift at work and you learn how to work that forklift up and down the aisles, you maneuver it, you know how to get everything on that top shelf, you don't bang nothing. It took you 2 years to master how to drive that forklift. But you've been doing it. And you tell me, man, I got 16 years of experience driving a forklift. No. You got 2 years of experience learning how to drive that forklift. You just kept doing it for 14 more years after the 2. That's not 16 years of experience. That's 2 years. You just kept putting something on repeat. So let's not confuse experience with repetitive behavior. Y'all hear me? Who out there with me? I don't see nothing in the chats. Am I lying to y'all? Who's here? The key thing that I understood when my father was showing me about hard work, and I didn't want to do the same. So I said, I'm going to take this salary to do something that he mentioned, which was real estate. So then I got into real estate. Now you got to share this with at least 10 people. We getting ready to go in. Y'all got to share this with at least 10 people. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Zoom. So you can find me at all your major networks right now, what we consider our major networks. Yeah, that's right. So I want you to do this. I want you to say to yourself, if the only way that you can make money is by physical labor, what happens when you can no longer get up and do that physical labor job no more? How will you make money? If anytime you say to yourself, man, I got to make more money. I need to figure out how to get me some more money. Let me go find me a job. I need to get some more money. Let me go do overtime. If any way you think about making money is physical labor, you're thinking about it wrong. You're thinking about it wrong. The only thing that you should be willing to put on repeat is something that can make you money that you don't have to do. And you could put that on repeat by hiring somebody else to do it while you get a majority of your time back. What do you mean by that, Storm? What do you mean? If somebody told you, look, I want you to paint my apartment. You painted the apartment yourself one time. A whole apartment, you got paid $1,200. Now somebody says, this person's great with painting apartments. So now you get 3 recommendations to paint 3 more apartments. You think you're going to now put 3 different apartments on the schedule for you to paint them yourself? Or you're going to hire somebody else that knows how to paint apartments and hire them to paint those 3 apartments under your company while you do nothing. You pay them 50 to 60 or 40% while you get 100% of your time. That's how you need to think. Now you grow out the company of painting apartments because now you created a business. The biggest thing and the biggest mistake we make, what's going on, Patrick? The biggest mistake we make is by saying how and not who. Man, come on. How and not who. I want y'all to understand, there's a book I want y'all to read and listen to. It's called Who, Not How. An incredible audio book. An incredible book. Who, Not How. I make it my business to listen to that book once a year, every year. Who, Not How. That book tells you you are a walking business. You have enough ideas. You have enough going on in your life where if you're able to make money, you should be able to take that money to now expand. And let me go more on about the job because I got a couple of topics in a short amount of time to do this with you. I understood that my job was paying me, so I took a portion of my salary and I paid myself first. Did y'all catch what I said? I said I paid myself first. I didn't pay cable. I don't pay the cell phone. I didn't pay yourself first. That's another book. It's a book. You can look on YouTube. It's an ebook and there's a video. He did a whole seminar called Pay Yourself First. I'm going to give you gems and I'm going to give you stuff. You have your pen ready. It come to my brain, I'm going to give it to you. The whole concept is you make sure you give yourself an allowance and salary so you could do something with it. And now you could take that money to expand and grow. That's the purpose of the money. Not for you to go want to take a trip, because we can save up money when we want to go to trip, but we can't save up the money when we want to go away from doing this mundane thing for the next 30, 40 years. Pay yourself first. Now you can take that money to invest. I took my money and I bought real estate. First piece of property I bought was in 1999 in New York City. That property I bought for $350,000, worth $1.7 million right now. Sounds like a great achievement. But you know what the problem was? It took over 20 years to turn $350,000 into $1.7 million. And I still had to go to work every day until that happened.
Turn it down.
I still had to go to work every day until that happened. So what I did was I started to invest in real estate out of state. I didn't want to be a landlord. So the whole thing for me was get me property, got me a mentor, which I'm going to get deep into that. Found me a mentor, taught me about out of state, told me about out of state investing. Once I got into out of state investing, my world changed. I didn't have to deal with tenants. I'd have to look at properties. My first property I bought was $40,000 in Indianapolis. Got me a local loan from a local bank. You can't get $40,000 loans. You have to deal with banks in that small town because they're used to it. That property was getting about $800 in Section 8, 20% down. It was about a little over $8,000 closing costs. So $8,000 was making me $6,000 a year. That was an 80% return on my money. My lights went off and said, wait, I'm making 80% return? Now, I don't ever want you to think about how small the amount is. I want you to think about the percentage. Somebody said I could give you 80% of return on my money. I don't care if it was $100. I'm giving you the 100. Because you're telling me you can make me 80% return. So if you make an 80% of return on that money, you need to take that bet over and over and over again. So once I bought the first property, I said, man, if I'm making $60,000 a year and I'm making $6,000 off of this one, all I need is 10 properties and I can retire. But what I didn't see was by me buying one property, now that made 2 properties. So 10 years kept going into 9, 8, 7, 6. Next thing you know, I bought enough properties to say I could retire in 5 years. But you know, when the light bulb went off for me with my mentor, when he said, Storm, you're doing good, but let me tell you, once you partner, your world's going to change. I partnered on my first deal, and I've never been the same since. Why would you take your money and down payment to buy one property when you could partner with 2, 3, or 4 more people with that same amount of money and buy 3, 4, or 5 properties? If I bought a property in Texas, he bought one in Virginia, he bought one in Georgia, you bought one in Ohio. Now you got 4 properties with 4 partners. You know the beauty of that? You got 4 different properties in 4 different places in the United States, growing equity at different paces. You're not dealing with the tenants. You don't have to take care of them. And now you guys could take your money again. Let's say it's 6,000 or 7,000 you're each making off of those properties. 4 people, 6,000, 24,000. But now you saving some of the most important part of money, some of the most explosive part of money that you guys don't even consider, which is your tax return. I want y'all to stop getting your tax return and ball out. I want you to take your tax return and I want you to put that towards leaving your job so you can then ball out, right? So the power of group economics is something I highly preach, especially in real estate and doing deals. And I want to tell you guys something else. Even if you don't have a business, you are a business, man. You're a business. I want everybody in here to take an oath with me. I want you to take your name. I want you to turn your name into an LLC. I want you to take, for example, Storm Leroy LLC. I want you to get Emily Raza LLC tomorrow. That's your name. That's your business. That's your entity. Chris Hopkins, LLC. You should own that. You know what I want you to do then? I want you to go get you an EIN. What I want you to do after that, I want you to go get you a business credit card right after that.
Amen.
And then what I want you to do after that, for 1 entire year, I want you to only make purchases using that credit card in your business name. I want you to go grocery shopping. I want you to get your gas. I want you to pay bills at your home with that. And let me tell you why I'm telling you to pay bills. Because you're going to have a home office. You're going to be able to write off a portion of your light, gas, heating, mortgage, and rent because you have a home office. For 1 year, I want you to become the business that you are. And then I want you to get your accountant who understands business, and I want you to do your taxes. Better yet, I don't want you to go find one because we have one here. The Employed Millionaire Legacy Program. We have one of the best tax accountants on board that knows business. So when it's time for you to do your taxes, I want you to come to us so we can show you exactly what it's like to write off your taxes as a business and stop being a spoke in the wheel. You want to complain about when a wealthy person pays $750 on their taxes when you can do the same thing. You're just not going about it. Taxes are designed for business people, especially the ones who provide jobs and housing. And let me tell you why jobs are so important. Because why would they tax a business one time, Amazon, Google, you name them? Why would they tax them one time when you can tax the employees over and over and over again? I could tax them when they go shopping. I could tax them on groceries. I could tax them on car notes. I could tax them on health insurance. I could tax them on lights. You get taxed. This is why it makes no sense. And we get upset when you want people to tax Amazon $1 billion when they have hundreds of thousands of employees. When you tax them, that's a greater amount of money going into the economy. So you know what that means? You should become your version of Amazon. You're a business. Jeff, keep everybody on mute signing in. And then when you see a CEO has this office in this high rise, guys, listen to me. Does he own the high rise? Does he own the tower? Does he own the building? Or that CEO is paying rent while he makes millions or billions of dollars? You're a CEO. Your home is your high-rise office building. I want you to treat it as such moving forward. I want you to treat yourself like a business and break away from thinking like the spoke in the wheel from this moment on. We can give you so many coaching situations on how to do things, but if I don't talk to you like a mentor on mindset, I can't convince you that the things I'm going to coach you are going to be successful to you. And I don't want to, this is like, before I move from that, I want everybody in here, on every chat I'm talking on, I want you to put the word me in the chat. If you know moving forward, you're going to treat yourself like a business. Who's going to treat themselves like a business? Me. Me. I'm on here to do something because I know what I have in here. Some of us just need to hear it out loud so you can realize you thought the same way, but you just didn't know how to formulate and process the data. I want to help you process the data. We can follow many people. We can hear a lot of things, but you ever wonder why you just haven't made a move yet? You got so many things you're listening to. You have tons of playlists of motivational speeches, motivational this, motivational that, courses this, courses that. You got it all, but you haven't made a move yet. If you have tons of playlists, tons of all this, like all you just, and this doesn't motivate.
You're on mute, Storm.
Storm, you're mute.
There you go. Something good? All you done is created yourself a fancy playlist if none of that motivates you. It's hard to process the data. Mentorship. Mentor can help guide you and direct you in the right way. That's key. But before you say to yourself, oh, I'm searching for the right mindset so I can get this going, I want everybody in here to type in the word belief. Belief. I need you to have belief. I need you to believe that you're greater than the salary that they're telling you you're making. I need you to believe that you're greater than the studio or the one bedroom that you're paying for right now and you know you don't like where you're at. I need to know you believe that you deserve to drive something better. I know you believe, I need you to have a belief that you want to take trips and you deserve to take trips. I need you to believe that you want to give your kids the greatest education and pay for that. I need you to believe all the things that you want. But I'm going to tell you something else. I need you to stop believing in what you see. People say, man, I believe everything I see. I believe everything I see. Well, if you see your bank account only got $500, you believe that's the best you can be? Come on, talk to me. You believe that's the best you can be? If you believe you at work and you got to work 80 hours, 60 hours, holidays, weekends, you believe that's the best person you could be? See? Your eyes is lying to you. Your inner must now coincide to what you believe, what you want to do outwards. And you must combine your mind with your heart because you cannot have conflicting messages. If your mind is telling you you want to be the greatest thing and you believe that, but your heart is saying, how are we going to do it? There's no way we can do this. Boy, if we try to run off this here plot, this plantation, they're going to be mad. How am I going to get money? You're causing anxiety because you have a conflicting message between your heart and your mind, and now you're reacting with anxiety. This is where I'm telling you, belief first. Then your mind will kick in with mindset. But we can't go to mindset if we didn't start here. I don't care who tells you about mindset all day. I want you to have the right mindset. I want you to have, mindset is a beautiful thing. But the first thing I want y'all to do is to believe in everything I'm telling you. And if you know you deserve more than what you have now, your belief will guide you from your heart and the message will go to your mind, which will then turn into a mindset. And your mindset will then transmit to the universe. And now the universe will automatically give you what you want because abundance is something that's deserved and automatically calling out to you. You're just not receiving the data to process that. Shout out to my brother Ash Cash. Abundance is your birthright. It's your birthright. I need you to claim it. We have to look into the future of things, of what we want to do. And when I say the future, I'm going to give you the meaning of the word future when you hear it. The future is something that's planned, but not with us in mind. Oh, here you go. Here we go. When you hear about AI, you hear about technology, you hear about everything in the future. We have those around us that say, man, I'm never going to do this. AI's never going to take my job. AI's going to never do that. And the future. And now let me tell you, if they would have told any one of us years ago, when Facebook first came out and we were young, hey, this new thing came out called Facebook. We want you to post wherever you're at, take pictures wherever you're at. When you're going on trips, post that, hey, I just left my house. I'm going to the airport. I'm going away for a week. All your business. We would have never done that. because we were cut from a different cloth with how we were raised. That's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's a projection for the future who things are for. Facebook came out the right time for the right generation because we wouldn't have accepted it. So when people say, oh, the future, I'm not, first of all, they're not talking to us. The future is 30, 40, 50 years out. Add those numbers on your age and think about you. We're not the consumer anymore, guys. The person who they're talking about when they say autonomous driving cars. If a car pulled up to your house right now, Uber, nobody was driving and the door opened up and they said, get in where you want to go. How many of y'all would get in? None of us, because it's not for us. It's for the younger generation who are now been sitting home playing games. Most of their friends are online. They don't have actual visual friends. Due to COVID, they've been out of school for 2 years. Due to not being able to communicate well, they communicate through the screen, through headphones. Autonomous driving is something they're perfecting for the future. They're perfecting for the future, but it's not for us. But it's not. The younger generation will be some of the most savviest investors in the world because they're fearless. When somebody says, I want you to invest $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, our brain starts to go, I don't know you like that. I want to meet you. I want to see you. Let's figure it out. But you got to think, younger generation are right now with a device in their hand, swapping money. People they don't know. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, exchanging. When I tell you I'm coming over your house with $2 million, you expect me to have a duffel bag. A younger generation tells another young person I'm coming over your house, we're going to trade $2 million. He shows up with his cell phone and shows him $2 million. It's the future. The only way you're going to be able to survive what's going on is by investing in the future. I want you all to remember when we used to drive to the toll and somebody we give money to. Now I want you to think, where are they? I'm going to let that hang there for a while. Where are they? Thousands of toll workers disappeared overnight. These things will happen to cashiers, Kmart, Walmart, A&P, Whole Food. The first McDonald's already open, fully automation. First McDonald's open, nobody working there. Supermarkets, fully automated. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when that low tier job is no longer there and there's not a job lower than that? Where do they go? Where do all those thousands of people, where have all those toll workers went? So it's going to create a climate that's not going to be stable. They have a thing they're discussing now in politics and the office with politics, which I'll discuss later, called UBI. UBI is something that Andrew Yang was running on, where he said he wanted to give every American $1,000. Even if you didn't have a job, $1,000, and they thought he was crazy. Now they're revisiting that talks because of the speed of AI, and they know hundreds of thousands to possibly millions of jobs are going to disappear. They are thinking of giving people money who don't have jobs, because how are they going to pay rent, car note, groceries? And when you don't pay those things, I spoke about it earlier, what happens when you buy or do those things? You pay taxes. If people are no longer able to do their things, it impacts the taxes. So now they're having this discussion because they know technology is undefeated. You know how long it take to go from 8 tracks to cassettes? Cassettes, vinyl got popular. Then from vinyl, it went to iPod to players. And then things sped up. It went from MP3s to iPod to no longer needing an iPod. It went from streaming to now you used to download your songs to now you don't even have an account. You don't have any songs on your phone. You have an account paying for music you don't even own. How many of y'all tried to download one of your songs and say, y'all want to have that song on my phone? I never forget the first time when I went to Google and said, y'all want to download that on my phone so I don't have to like log in and stuff. And they were like, nah, you don't own the music. What? And they make it worse. When I signed into Google to their player, they deleted all of my MP3s off my phone. So, like, guys, what I'm getting at, there are key things for you to become savvy investors, invest in the future. Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA, chips processors, Amazon, which is one of the biggest databases on the planet. And these things are on sale right now. But you know what? We let the news tell us otherwise. The news tell us stock market is doing bad. Run for cover, Ricky. Stock market is doing bad. Don't invest in the stock market, when really, if you think like a business person, what they're actually telling you is stocks are on sale. Everything's on sale, Ricky. Come and buy. How do you not appreciate a stock like Amazon, which was $3,000? It split, went down to $100,000. And the company, even the CEO itself said, I don't know why people are not invested in buying in this. Amazon owns over 15 companies within itself. Google owns most of the robots that we see going on right now. NVIDIA is one of the biggest processors and chips right now. You mean to tell me you're going to wait until the news says the stock market is doing great, everything's doing great, and then you're going to run and buy them when they're at their most highest point and they're expensive again? The image that we get through the TV is a picture in a frame, and the story is outside of the frame. I need you to think like a business man. Do you think business people really watch the news and we get worried about what they say? Why would they want to free you from the bondage of coming to work every day and you could be strong-minded individual and break away from the chain and now you're successful? Why would they want to give you information that will make you successful? Fear-mongering is at an all-time high. Housing market. Oh, it's crashing. The housing market is doing this. Yeah, there's a low amount of inventory. Yes, interest rates were a little high, but as of today, they went down a little bit. Yes, but let me tell you something. You buy a property now, the investment is still there with equity. Growth and equity is going nowhere. There's a reason why Wall Street and hedge funds are continuously buying up single-family homes left and right. You know why? Because they're not afraid of what the news is saying. You know what else? They realize how a lot of us became self-employed, successful from owning real estate, from collecting rent, from gaining equity, from being able to pull equity out, pay for college, pay to buy you more investment properties, pay for those investments and things, equity in real estate. And now Wall Street has said, we want in. And they're buying up everything. Do you think billion-dollar corporation hedge funds are doing this on a whim, or they did millions of dollars worth of research that you can now benefit off of? How come you're not benefiting off of the research? And you know what it is? I'm not blaming none of us. What I'm saying is we're not able to process the data properly because of the noise. When I realized the news was making me complacent and it was telling me, be thankful you have a job. Be thankful that you didn't start a business. Be thankful that you're not one of these people in these bad neighborhoods. Somebody walked down the block, somebody gets killed, somebody's getting robbed. Let me tell you something straight up. I don't need you to tell me where I shouldn't hang. I don't need the news to tell me what's a bad area and what time of night I shouldn't be out. I know where I don't need to be at a certain time of night. I need you to free yourself and think different. I'm not telling you don't watch the news, because there's a message inside the message. I'm just trying to help you process the data of the message. We've seen a collapsing of these two banks go down. Banks normally insure $250,000 FDIC, no matter how much money you got in there. They only give you $250,000. They kick rocks. You had $1 million, go kick rocks. But guess what they did for these banks in Silicon Valley? They said, we're going to give y'all every single dime of that money back. You think they would have did that for your money in Bank of America? You think they would have did that for your money in Chase? I know they're going to come turn me off in a little while. I know they're going to ring my bell. You think they would have did this for you at where your money is at right now? No. Hedge funds, angel investors, billions of dollars, $40 billion in that. They made a run on that bank for one day for, I think, $4 billion or $8 billion. But you know what they said? These are business people. They're not those people. Let's give them the money, because they're going to create more jobs. They're going to keep investing. They're going to open up more businesses, and they're going to keep our economy going. You're a businessman. You're a business. If you look at that and don't say to yourself, I'm tired of being treated this way, then God bless. But I'm going to tell you something. If the words that I'm saying seem to sound like a song, you just heard the words somewhere before, you just never knew the lyrics, you're in the right place. There's a familiarity here that's going on. It feels familiar. These banks are not in for your best interests. They're not in for your best interests. I want to share some more stuff with y'all. I've had me a mentor for almost 8 years. I've been mentored. But I want to tell you guys something. There's a distinct difference from you having mentorship and you being coached. Somebody could coach you. I could coach you on how to buy real estate all day. I could tell you how to buy real estate out of state without seeing it. I bought over 40 properties, never seen them. I've done easily over $1 million in those. I've recently just finished up a deal now. For those of you who know, I'm big in Alabama. I bought 11 properties in Alabama over a year and a half ago. I did a post that I didn't post yet. But those properties I bought over a year and a half ago for a little over $100,000. I just got them all appraised for over $500,000. I'm literally taking out $300,000 worth of equity for properties that I never seen over a year and a half ago. But people want to tell you that there's no money out of state. People want to tell you you need to see every property. I'm sitting here and never seen none of those properties in Alabama. And I just told you $307,000 of equity I'm pulling out. I never stepped one foot in that place. Never saw one tenant. Yeah, I had 2 properties that had tenant issues and I lost $20,000 worth of rent. But I want you to tell me, $307,000, lose $20,000 worth of rent. What line are you standing on? You know why? We have to learn to invest in the ripple. Stop trying to invest in places that are very expensive and popular because it sounds like, I want a place in San Francisco. I want a place in New York. I want a place in Dallas. I want a place in Houston. Those places are becoming overpriced. And guess what happens? There's a boulder hanging over everybody's head who lives in these places. When that boulder drops, those prices go up, that rent goes up. You know what they forced to do? A lot of them, they're going to move. And at the same time, when that boulder drops down, just like when a pebble hits water, it causes a ripple. Those people will now move into the ripple. I want you to buy real estate in the ripple. I want you to buy real estate in the outskirts where people will be going. Everybody got a neighborhood that's very expensive where they live. And guess what happened? Those people moved out into a lesser neighborhood that you call the ghetto, and no longer is the ghetto, you're calling it gentrified. Well, just a few years ago, you called it the ghetto. Come on. I'm going to tell you something somebody told me. The day you see a barista walking down your neighborhood by herself at 12 o'clock at night and she white, you better start thinking about investing. I never forget that. I saw that happen in Bed-Stuy, Clinton Hills, Fort Greene, Brooklyn, East New York. We see the negative, but what you have to see is what it can be. Those places are getting more expensive. Those people are going to be forced to move. So the people that could afford to live, that could afford $2,000 in rent, the rent goes up to $3,000. They're going to move in the neighborhood where the rent used to be $1,000, but they can afford $2,000, and the landlord will raise the rent, forcing those people to go into another neighborhood. And let me break that down in alphabet terms in real estate. You have people in the A area, which is a very high class neighborhood, very bougie. They get pushed out. They move to a B area. The B area now becomes an A. You have the people in the B who can't afford to live in the B, move in a C class area, and that C class area, which we would call so-so, turns into a B. Follow the ripple. Follow the ripple. And what that means is you're going to invest in the future. If you invest in the future, and the future you know is technology, how come you don't own no Apple stock? How come you got an Apple phone, an Apple tracker, an Apple laptop, an Apple PC, you got everything Apple, but you don't own one piece of Apple stock? Where most of the devices in these futuristic cars will be Apple. Apple have their own car, you know. They designed their own automobile, which is fully autonomous and electric. Even if they don't bring it out, they still have the concept to work with somebody else. They are pushing autonomous driving and electric. How do you have a Google account, Google Android, but you don't have invest in Google? How you have Prime and everything else, but don't invest in it? If you know you can wake up tomorrow and that company is going to be there, please invest some money in it. Please invest some money. Everything's not a hustle. The 90s are over. Invest. That's what I want y'all to do. Now, a coach can give you every play on how to do something, but a mentor is going to tell you how to live life to prepare for the ebb and flows of what a coach has taught you. I hope y'all caught that. I can teach you everything about real estate, but it's my mentorship side of me that will tell you how to move through life to become successful in real estate. I don't care what somebody coach you to do. If you're not mentally sound, been given proper structure, you won't be able to do that thing. How many talented basketball players we see come out of college, get to the NBA and fall apart because they weren't mentored correctly? How many people we see have a great jump shot, hit a fastball, talent? I mean, incredible quarterbacks, crazy talent. Had no mentorship, no guidance to be able to go through life, to make it to the finish line and enjoy the riches of the talents. I hate to use John Morant as an example right now, but I don't think he's on this live right now. I don't see him tuned in. That's an example. The man has talent beyond belief. But where's the mentorship to guide him the right way through life? So I want you to make a healthy decision and say, do I want a coach who knows how to mentor, or do I just want a coach? I've been sitting here giving you life lessons about so many things that I've learned I'm not going to say my 53 years of living, because I didn't start living until I turned 17. But I'm giving you so much from my mentors. I'm getting from my mentor who has a mentor who has a mentor. So I got 3 levels of mentorship and knowledge and education in here that I'm giving to you. So you're getting the 4th level. That's the power of mentorship. That's the power. And to set aside the difference. I want you to understand the difference between living your life and creating a legacy. Your life is now. Your legacy is your last name. Gucci, Fendi, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Louis Vuitton. These are last names. This is why I want you to take your name and make an LLC out of it. So you could feel the power when somebody swipes your name on your business and it now triggers, that's nothing on my personal. My business, my name created this. You need to be able to take the tools and information that I'm talking about now and say, I want to create a legacy. How do we do that? I need everybody in here to have two things: life insurance and a living trust. I need you to stop being selfish. Don't you know our ancestors? And when I say ancestors, I ain't going back 400 years. I'm talking about your grandmother, your great-grandmother and grandfather. They didn't have the technology or the wherewithal to see the future of where we're at now with this technology, but they knew my grandchildren, great-grandchildren will have greater opportunities than me. So I want to fight and struggle to give them an opportunity for the future. How are you not doing the same thing when you have all these opportunities? Not you directly, but if you feel it, be like church. When the pastor's talking, you be like, I think he's talking to me. Right? If you don't have insurance or live in trust, when we have the opportunity now to create those things, to hand down, you're being selfish. The information that we're provided now, don't you know if you just take the life insurance, put that into an account, put that into a living trust, hand that down to your children, your children's children, you have a trust made for every one of your trustees. Have a trust made for your, every time somebody's born, you create a trust and give them a life insurance policy. Don't you know you're creating an endless legacy? You're creating a bank. Y'all know I could talk about this Rockefeller thing all day. Life insurance. Like, I speak this thing so much when people will come to me and say, you know what, Storm? I want to get this trust done. Who do you use? Who do you that? I said to myself, I can't keep sending them to other places. So I sat down with my lawyer and a bunch of lawyers around the United States, other states, because you need attorneys in other states. And now guess what? I have a company that's doing living trust for everybody. Affordable ones. If I told you, you can get your living trust started right now for $3,000, what would you say? Oh, no way. Yes, way. Because I fought for this. I sat down with them and negotiated. I need my people moving forward to be able to get a life insurance and a trust that's affordable. Now, if you want to add other features, of course, that's going to cost you more, but you won't need those other things until you start making more. But what we want to do is avoid you from probate. Avoid you from probate. Like, I want, before I get too deep and they cut me off, links, I want you to drop this link, right? I want to give you guys the link to schedule your consultation for a trust, to get your business taxes done, for you to be able to talk about life insurance, for you to talk about real estate, out-of-state real estate. Matter of fact, I'm going to give a scholarship right now for somebody to do my entire mentorship. I'm giving away a scholarship. Click the link, sign up, consultation costs you nothing. Costs you nothing. For people on Instagram, the link is inside my bio. I need you to take hold of your life and your legacy. And I'm not giving you an excuse. I went out my way to create all of these tools because I kept getting inquiries on, Storm, who can I trust? Who can I work with? Matter of fact, I want to do 2 scholarships because I got a lot of people in all these channels. I got we got over 300 people. I'm doing 2 scholarships. Sign up, get on listen, I'm not selling you a thing. You don't have to sell what you know is the truth. I'm not selling you. I'm giving you a reason to not have an excuse anymore. Storm said everything, but man, where do I go from here? Where do we go from here? No excuse. Click the link, set up a consultation. But now let me keep going. The importance of creating a legacy for your grandchildren. Even if you don't want to be in real estate, I'm going to show you the power of group economics. My community, my employee millionaire community, it's over 100 of them. My requirement in my mentorship is for you to partner to do a deal together. That's one of my requirements. I've had people in my community already bought properties, doing deals to buy more properties. And you know what? I've partnered with deals with my community. If they got a good deal, I'm getting in. Like I said, I'm in. How do I not invest with my people if I believe in what if I so-called believe in what they're doing? You got to invest. If your mentor's not willing to invest with what you're doing, then is he giving you the right thing? My community is strong, the employee millionaire. I go out on a limb and I do everything I got to do for them. Because they understand this is not just a coaching program. This is a mentorship about life. And you need to have you a partner that's on board. My mentorship for anyone who signs up, your partner is free. Your spouse is automatically included. You know why? I don't need you to have this knowledge for yourself. I need your husband, your wife to have the knowledge. Why would you want to have the keys and the combination to the safe for yourself? And if you pass away, and when you pass away, they're left with none of this information. I want you to go look at all these other programs and see if that's out there. Me, Marvin, and Ash have something called Path to Prosperity, which is one of the most incredible things that I could ever be a part of. One of the key things we promote is our program is for the household, not just one person. It's not how it goes. I want you guys to understand, I need you to move forward, be committed to turning yourself into a business, be committed to getting that EIN, be committed to getting that credit card, be committed to take 1 year of making purchases as a business and do the tax write-off as a business. I need you to be committed to go, listen to this part here, right? I need you to be committed to share the information with somebody else. I don't want us to be here I'm not telling nobody about this great community I'm in. I'm not telling nobody, no. Those days are over. If you know somebody that wants to be where you're at, it wants the information, and you know they just can't process the data, they where you once were, invite them into the space. I want us all to support every one of the influencers out here if it works for you. I love all my fellow influencers out here doing great things. There's no need to bash. There's no need to talk about someone else. There's no need to compare communities. Why? There's no need to stop someone from being in somebody else's community. Why? Knowledge is to be shared and not hoard. You must be willing to show grace and be humble for somebody else if they're doing something great, and especially if it's greater than what you're doing. There's nobody out here who could say, man, Storm, man, that guy, he's selfish. Or Storm, he thinks about himself. I want anyone who ever tries to talk about me to somebody else, I want that other person to look at them and go, something's wrong with you. Because that man has done nothing but promote everybody and everything he's ever done. And I pour my heart back into my people. And you know where that comes from? As you get older, you realize your mortality. I want y'all to understand that we are living between the bookmarks of the now. N-O-W. The now, when the doctor tells your mother to push, and the now, when the God you believe in tells you, you coming home with me now. The sad part about it, we don't know how much time we have in between. So I need you to act now. No time wasted. I need you to value time. Today is my everything. I need you to understand that I'm not here just to tell you about real estate. I'm not here just to tell you about how to take your job, make it your first business partner. I'm not here to tell you about how you can invest out of state and not just deal with tenants. That's a subtitle to the title of the story. The title of the story is time. That's what this is about. I need you to value that which you have and make the most out of it. If you're committed to joining a community, taking a course, you're committed to doing that, never look at the price of something and equate that thing on how much it's going to cost you. I want you to equate the value of what you're going to get in return. I spend 6 figures on mentorship every year. It's made me millions. I will spend, hopefully, in 2 years, $1 million worth of mentorship. And in turn, I would like to make $20 to $50 million. You know why? I want y'all to think about this. What can a person, let me put it this way. How do you turn $500 into $5 million? Don't ask a person with only $500. If you want to make $5 million, go ask a person that has $5 million. I need you to get out your circle. Your circle is going to be there. Your friends will be there. You want to make a change and impact the people around you? I need you to leave them. Oh, they ain't hear me. I need you to leave them. If we got 4 friends of the circle that have never done nothing and you leave the 3. 3 will talk about you, but it'll be 1 who will go, man, they impressed at what you're doing. Now they want to go do that thing. That leaves 2. The 2 of them, 1 of them will continuously talk, man, they doing their thing. I'm glad for them, but you know, that ain't for me. That 1 person will leave, leaving that 1 person there by himself. Now, the sad part is that 1 person still would not chase his dream because he was the glue holding y'all 3 together. He needs to stay there to recruit 3 more people to start that chain all over again. There's some lives you can never change. Some lives are designed to crash and burn, to be a prime example of what you should never do and how you should never live. You should never try to save them because now you're not living up to the full potential of what your life is meant to be. Did you hear me? You're not living up to the full potential of what your life is trying to be, trying to save somebody else when that person knows their destiny. How many times you seen somebody clean somebody up from on drugs, alcohol, clean them up, give them a suit, a place to stay, and they go right back out there, get drunk and do the same thing, and then you grab them and go, why are you doing this? They say, you know why? Because this is what I'm meant to do. They know their destiny. How come you don't know yours? That person's life is a beacon to 20 to 30 other people to go, I don't want to be like him. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're helping 20 to 30 other people focus. You trying to change their projection. The nerve. I need you to understand and look in the mirror for yourself and say to yourself, what am I doing? Where am I going? The most clarity I've ever had is the day when I went into my bathroom and I turned on the light. I looked in the mirror and I was frustrated at what I was going, what I was doing, the life I was living. And I said, why am I not getting it? Why am I not going down this path, which I know is a great path for me? I know I have this voice. I know I have this thing. Why? Don't you know I used to say that to myself in the dark room and I never would get an answer? But the day when I turned on the light, looked in that mirror, I started responding back to myself. I started saying, you know why? Because you're abusing a gift that you got. You know why? Because you're still hanging around the same 3 people. Because you're not taking it. What was happening was the person in the mirror, I wanted them to come out and be real. And I actually need to see him, look in his eyes and gain clarity and stop talking to myself in the dark and let him have a voice. I was never the same. Stop speaking to yourself in utterness. Stop sharing your dreams with people who cannot see your vision. Stop having pillow talk with those who only there to deter you from what it is you know you can be because they want you to stay right there with them. If somebody is with you, let me tell you, and I'm not trying to break up nobody's household before I start talking. Y'all know I've been married 3 times. And let me tell you something. I love commitment. I love relationship. But I learned that if somebody would enjoy to see you miserable because you are now making them happy, that's a place you don't need to be. If somebody can live with you being miserable just because you're making them happy, you need to leave. The hardest decisions I've ever made were the ones that changed my life. I would not be here talking to you now if I didn't say, I have to tear this wall down. Let me give you an example before I get out of here. I want you guys to look at this picture. You and your relationship. Just whoever it is. Friends. You got one friend, there's a relationship, you're in a relationship, it's in a frame. You hit the nail in the wall, you hang that frame up. This relationship looks pretty in the frame. Now you realize there's turmoil in this relationship. It's not working out. You're deciding on whether to make a decision to leave, to stay. What should you do? You know this relationship is not beneficial to you, but you stay. Now you take the frame down. You say, you know what? I want to add another person to this relationship. So maybe you'll have a child. You add a child. You add another child to the picture in the frame. You add 2 or 3 more friends in the frame. So now the frame got bigger and the frame gets heavier. It's more people in this frame. You take the nail out because the nail can't hold the weight. You get you one of them screws, them butterfly screws. When you screw it in, the butterfly comes out and the anchor got to grab into the sheetrock. So now you screw in one of those kind of screws. The butterfly opens up so it can hold the weight. Now you put that frame up, you and the family. Now you say to yourself, I'm tired. This thing ain't gonna work. I'm torn down. You take the frame down, you say, you know what? I want to take that nail out the wall. But when you try to take that nail out the wall, you pulling the entire sheetrock with that wall. It's no longer the single nail you could just put some spackle on. You added more weight, more responsibility, more things to it when you knew when the frame was lighter, you needed to make a decision. So now you're tearing down a foundation. So what I'm telling you is, whether it's your relationship or your friendship, make a decision before you put more weight on the frame. And now you need that screw with the anchor. And now it's harder for you to break away from those friendships or relationship. I need you guys, those of you linked, drop that link again for my people before I get out of here. I'm giving out 3 scholarships for people to get into my mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, before I start up a new topic, because I got 5 more things I want to talk about, and I want to stay here with y'all longer. Let me see how many people we got. Who want to keep going for a little while longer? Let me get some fire. I got some topics. If y'all want to keep going, I'll keep going. But if y'all want me to go, I'll leave. I don't want to hold y'all up. I don't want to keep y'all here with me. Where we at? We got a couple of fires on Zoom. We got really nobody in the chat. Type in. We got some fire in there. We got Facebook. Come on, what we doing? Do we get some more? I need you guys to really sign up, book your time for the consultation, get your living trust. Let's have the conversation. Let's get it done. But before I go, I want to talk about one more thing. All right, encore. Encore, let's do it. We're going to talk about one more thing. I want y'all to realize something. The same amount of wind it takes to blow out a candle, the same amount of wind it takes to blow out a candle, that same amount of wind could spur on a forest fire. I blew out a candle. I blew on sparks in the forest and ignited this fire. I want you to ask yourself, are you the candle? Are you the forest fire? People want to extinguish your fire with doubts. Be the wind of doubt. They want to be the wind of doubt. Blow it in your direction. Is it going to put out your candle, or is it going to spur on the fire in you? You have to make decisions on that thing. And what I want y'all to take with that, I need you to move forward and never call anyone your boss. You have a foreman or you have a supervisor. Never give the power of someone being your boss. Words have power. When you respect that word, boss, and now don't give it to anyone, you are now releasing the ceiling of the word. If your projection when you call someone your boss is someone that has a little bit more title than you and makes a little bit more money than you, where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? I need you to get into the community of your mind first. I need you to get into the community of somebody's mentorship to help surround yourself with somebody else, with other like-minded people. There's no way you're going to do this by yourself. I couldn't do it by myself. Once I realized the importance of being around people, I need you to be able to say, I want to pay myself first. I want to turn myself into a business. I want to start right. Here's another book I want to give y'all. I gave you 2 books earlier. Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright. If you guys, if anything, you've heard me talk about some books tonight. You listen to that book, it will change your life. Your mind will adjust to a whole nother level. I'm going to give you another one. The Instant Millionaire. Incredible. Instant Millionaire. Tax-Free Wealth. Who Not How. I forgot the other one I gave you. Pay Yourself First. Those just a few. I see my guy, he pulled out his book, Instant Millionaire. I need you to absorb these knowledges. I need you to develop systems. For those of you that have a business, which is every one of you, I'm gonna give you one more that's gonna transform the way you think about businesses and structure. You can't have a successful business without structure. There's a book called Traction. Game changer. Game changer. Traction. For all my people here, I want to thank you for joining me on my birthday. The link is in the comments. Set yourself up for a call. Get your living trust. Have a consultation. I'm not selling you a thing, but you know what? I wasn't even going to share this with you guys because I wanted it to be a surprise for everybody who set up their dates. When you finish setting up your dates, everybody's going to get my ebooks. Get your date set. Get that consultation to Dennis, Gerald, Gary, Carlos, Larry, Shay, Denise, to all my people, Michelle, everybody in the building. I've enjoyed this time with you. I got one more thing I want to give to you right now, so you keep still and don't you move. This is something special. Where is it at? This is something real special, and I want to make sure I share this with my people right here. On this day, 53 years ago, a lady from South Carolina gave birth to this man, Storm Leroy. And I want to thank her because her birthday was 3 days ago. My mother.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Love you, brother. We love you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Storm.
Always.
Happy birthday, Storm.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, King.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
Happy blessed
Many more.
birthday.